Hey, what's up YouTube? I'm here to deck profile my Skull Servants list I've been playing with. It's currently a 50 card brick. I might want to make it a little bigger to make sighting easier and just to have more options. But jumping into the deck profile, I'm playing triple Wightbaking. This card is amazing. It's a shame it's a once per turn, but understandably so because it gets your engine going, and this card can turn into one card Curious, which is really cool. I'll have that combo at the end of the video you guys can watch. And then the triple White Prince, the card that gets your bricks into the graveyard and lets you special summon the kings by banishing Skull Servants from your graveyard. Really, really great card. Everything from the Skull Servant engine past the Wightbaking is not a once per turn, so you get to do some really cool extensions. The triple Skull Servant vanillas that you have to play because it's a Skull Servant name, and it's kind of cool because with the 10-year you can get some extra value since it's a vanilla. And then 3 Lady in Whites. She's actually pretty cool because she protects your Skull Servants from effects of spell and trap cards and cannot be destroyed by battle, except for herself, which is really nice. The fact that they're unaffected by spell cards let me dodge Super Poly from Shaddoll player because they were waiting for me to go extend or go into the battle phase, and then I just summoned Lady, so they were forced to use my Lady plus my other Dark that wasn't the King, so I got to still have my huge beater. And then triple King of the Skull Servants, really cool beater because it gets 1000 for every Skull Servant in your graveyard, and King of the Skull Servant. And then if it's destroyed by battle, you can special it back out, so you can actually use it to block some attacks if you really need to. Doesn't come up too much, but it is somewhat relevant. It's a shame that this card is too old that it doesn't also include card effect destruction, but you know, that'd really be something, wouldn't it? Then we'd have triple White Princess. She's really cool because she's a normal summon or special summon effect to dump the prince to get your graveyard engine going. She's also a light, which can come up if you decide to be cheeky with chaos things. It does make things like Curious a little awkward, but also it's like one less super poly target depending on what their targets are. Also, she has the quick effect to lower attack of 300 times their ranker level, which comes up in the damage step quite a bit because you can be cheeky, and if they think they can run you over, then you just do that to them. Or you can force out negates in the battle phase also, which is really neat. And then triple white mares that basically are just used to either special summon your Lady in Whites to give you either protection or the level 3 material to either sync or exceed with. And then it also gives you, of course, the name because it's in the graveyard, as well as the ability to special summon the king from the banish zone, which is relevant if you happen to get your second king out through like a White Prince effect. So you banish your first king of the Skull Servants, and then you can just white merit back out after, which is nice because you get another beater. And I'm playing triple Unizombie because it is a very solid normal summon for this deck. It gives you access to your level 8 Synchro, and it also gives you potential access to like the rank 3 plays if you decide to go that route, or you could even bump up, say, like a Nessie and make it a level 8, assuming you play the rank 8 engine. Unizombie just has a lot of cool uses. And then I'm currently playing one Mizuki. I highly am considering playing more, especially if I go the more than 50 card route because it is a nice extender, but it is also another brick in your hand unless you're able to discard it off of something, which is why currently I only play one. And then Danger Engine, we have the Jackalope, the Tsuchinoko, and the Nessie, all the ones that are at 1 for good reason. They let you do some cool stuff there when they're discarded. The cool thing about the Danger Engine is that you can use it to further get into Curious because they're basically all different types. And then we have the Bigfoot, Mothman, Thunderbird, and Chupacabra, all for just different names and more variations of cards you can go off of for all their once per turns. Sometimes they're relevant, sometimes they're not. Like, you don't want to resolve Mothman in the doll matchup, that's for sure. Chupacabra sometimes comes up if you're just unlucky and you end up discarding your dangers, or if you just have to discard them off another effect, you know, it's really cool. Then Bigfoot's like a big beater and stuff, so they all have their reasons for being there. And I'm playing the Kaiju engine for going second. This build is not good at going first, at least the way I play it, so you might as well just play good going second cards. One Godarla. Realistically, I want to play 2, but I'm still waiting for more copies. I would also play 2 Radians, but I thought I had a second one, but turns out I only have one, so I have to get another one. And then 2 Gamma Seals for the other 2 slots I just mentioned. The reason why I say Radiant is because one is a Dark Fiend, so it can be another attribute slash type for Curious, but it does leave you more susceptible to Super Poly, so that is unfortunate in that sense if you know your opponent plays it. But it's also an allure target, which is really cool. We're playing for our spells, triple Kaiju Slumber, since we're playing the Kaijus, to help break boards, going second. Triple Allure to draw cards, since almost everything is a dark in this deck, so it's almost always live. The power 1-ofs of 1-for-1, because you have very good level 1s in this deck. Monster Reborn to either bring back and extend like your kings, or you could even steal your opponent's stuff since you play things that break their board and they might have a graveyard because of it. Foolish to dump usually the Mizuki Prince or Baking, depending on what you need, called by, and Super Polys to break boards, and Twin Twisters to hit the back row. Moving on to the extra deck, you have Link Karibo, part of the combo. It's also, you play a lot of level 1, so it's relevant. All Mirage in case you don't want to use the Link Karibo or to give yourself protection. Anima to yoink monsters, and it's also part of the combo. Phoenix to hit back row, since back row is generally this deck's biggest weakness. IP, if you go first, it's easily cuttable, but people will generally try to make you go first after realizing you're going second deck, so you can usually try to make the IP to either the Tenyi, Unicorn, or the access code. And then the Curious, because as I mentioned, it's pretty easy to make Curious in this deck. The Draco Tenyi, since you play a lot of normal monsters, you can get value out of it, and in decks like Dinos can kind of struggle to out it since it can't be destroyed by battle by effect monsters, and if you used IP it also can't be destroyed by card effects, so that's pretty relevant. Unicorn for the IP plays are just to break boards. Appaloosa to get monster negates, which you can either set up going first if you open good enough, or going second if you want to play around things. And then the 1 access code to further break boards in OTK. Then our X seeds, we're playing the 1 Levier just to extend from our banish zone to get more once per turns, to get more effects off. And then for the synchros, I'm currently playing Beals. You probably want to play Chaos Ruler in this slot, but it actually has come up and they had trouble outing it. It's okay going first if you know they don't have Super Poly. And then it does out Dragoon, funny enough, since they can't kill it. But yeah, realistically, Chaos Ruler would be on that slot since almost everything is a dark or light type in here. And then, since we're playing Super Poly, our Super Poly targets are the Mud Dragon of the Swamp, Starving Venom, and Dragon Stapelia, which you can also use to further OTK if you use it in the battle phase. And lastly, onto our side deck, we're playing 1 Red Reboot for the back row removal, since back row is kind of an issue. Harpy's Feather Duster, same reasoning. Also, Evenlies can help break back row. And then we do play the 3rd Super Poly, and we play triple Drolin Locks, since it's very good this format. Phantasmes also to dig for our side cards. Double Lancia, since it does stop a fair amount of decks, as well as this one, unfortunately. And triple Dark Ruler to break boards more. Now we're here for the combo portion of the 1 card Curious, and we do need a Wightbaking to start this off. So jumping into this replay here, we have to normal summon our Wightbaking, then we link off into Link Karibo, then we activate Wightbaking's effect, adding the White Prince and the White Mare, discarding our White Prince to trigger its graveyard effect, dumping Skull Servant and Lady in White, and we activate the graveyard effect, which lets us special summon the king from our deck. And then we link off the king into the Anima. This is 2 different types on our field with the same attribute, using the White Mare's effect to special summon the Lady in White, giving us our 3 different typings. We have Zombie, Spellcaster, and Cyburst. Then we can link 3 into Curious. Then with Curious's effect, we dump whatever we want here. Generally, you go for something like White Prince, since the graveyard's effect is not once per turn. You could also dump something like Mizuki, another extender. And then Curious triggers on chain 1 since the card was sent to the graveyard. And then you get to use Prince's graveyard effect. Once more, I'll chain 2. And you get to dump another Lady in White and Skull Servant, giving you another follow-up play to extend further. And then Curious gets to dump 3 random cards, which could further fuel your Skull Servant engine, which is really cool, all off of just the one Wightbaking. Card is amazing for the deck. And that is the combo. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or if you have any other cool plays that this deck can do, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear them. If you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.